All right, everyone. Good evening and welcome to another live stream. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. And I would ask everyone, how's your week been? But if you are a fan of the SS United States, I know what the answer to that question is going to be. So, programming note before we get started here concerning that. If you are watching the replay of this and you are only interested in the SS United States part of this, if you hover over the timeline of the video, you will see it's broken into chapters, and you can skip straight to the SS United States part of this if that's what you're here for. Got a few folks here in the chat. Let's see, Skips, happy hour. We've got Mark, we've got Max, we've got American Loyalist. We've got Keith Califf. Am I saying that right? Let's see. I'm hoping Anna shows up here at some point too, because I have a couple of questions for her as well. Guys, I'll be saving the SS United States part of this for last, because obviously that's the biggest topic we're going to be covering. So we got a couple of news items we're going to kick things off with. So I am not going to waste any time. The sooner we get through that, the sooner we can get to the SS United States stuff, because I know that's what everyone's here for. So let's get started. We've got a couple of news articles this week. Royal Caribbean here. Royal Caribbean cancels more visits to Labadee. Royal Caribbean International is reportedly canceling all visits to Labadee that were scheduled to take place through the end of October. According to a statement shared with travel agents, the decision is related to safety concerns in Haiti, where the private destination is located. We've been monitoring the evolving situation in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and out of an abundance of caution, we're canceling our visits to Labadee through October 31st. 5 ships were scheduled to visit the destination during this time frame, including the Radiance of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas, Freedom of the Seas, and Adventure of the Seas. As the largest cruise ship in the world, the Icon of the Seas was scheduled to visit Labadee between August and September. We're sorry for any inconvenience this may cause. Your safety is our top priority, says Royal Caribbean. With their visits to Labadee now canceled, the affected ships are either spending an additional day at sea, or replacing the call with other destinations in the Caribbean or the Bahamas. Replacement ports include Grand Turk in Turks and Caicos, Georgetown in the Cayman Islands, Nassau in the Bahamas, and Costa Maya in Mexico. Any shore excursions booked for Labadee will be fully refunded to their original form of payment, the company added. After initially canceling its visits to Labadee in March 2024, Royal Caribbean resumed regular operations at its private destination last October. As civil unrest and gang violence escalated in the country's capital city, the company decided to suspend visits to the port again in April 2025. Royal Caribbean later canceled additional visits to Labadee in May 2025, with departures scheduled to take place through August being rerouted to avoid the port. So there you have it. Royal Caribbean, icon of the seas, largest cruise ship in the world, is not going to Haiti because of it's essentially unsafe. Uh, let's see. So moving on to our next item. Let's see. Mark, I'm here. I'm almost forgot. Oh, no worries, Mark. You're good. No worries. We just ran through one article. We're going to go through this next article here. Passengers aboard a luxury cruise ship left adrift for hours after power failure near Italian coast. The dream vacation took a dark turn as after passengers on board a Celebrity Cruises vessel reportedly experienced a temporary loss of power over the weekend, leaving it adrift for several hours. Kind of reminds me of a cruise from Carnival. I don't think there's any poop on this one. The ship, Constellation, was sailing near the Italian coast on Saturday, August 2nd, when it encountered a power outage that a spokesperson for Royal Caribbean Group, Celebrity Cruises' parent company, described as a technical issue. Reports indicate the vessel was without electricity and air conditioning for under 3 hours, though the cruise line has not specified what caused the issue or how it was resolved. Despite the outage, passengers were reportedly still able to use their cell phones as the ship was close enough to shore to maintain service, according to a statement. Let's see. Cruise tracking web tracker shows the ship is currently on an itinerary that began on July 28th from Porto Corsini in Ravenna, Italy. Scheduled stops include destinations in Croatia and Montenegro, with the cruise concluding on August 8th. So, Anna is here. Welcome, Anna. No, I'm glad you were able to make it. I figured you were for sure we're going to be here tonight. I'm glad you can make it. We just ran through a couple of news items. We're going to move on to our next topic, which will be a relatively short one. We've got a little bit of USS Kidd news. Eric, welcome. Eric, you're just in time. Anna, I did have a question for you, but I'm going to save it for the SS United States part of this because that's what it's in reference to. We got some USS Kidd news. Do you guys remember Tim Nesmith from the USS Kidd Veterans Museum was here last week? That's not what I wanted to show you guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me skip. Here we go. So a little footage of the Kidd in dry dock. So as you guys know, Thomasee, which is where the Kidd is at dry dock in Houma, Louisiana. The original contract that was set up for the dry docking of the ship, that work is now complete. The museum was trying to get some additional funds to keep the ship in dry dock for a few months longer in order to essentially get some wish list items done that they felt were necessary. They have secured that funding, and therefore, the ship is going to remain in dry dock till either October or November. So around that time, she's going to be done. And we don't know quite where she's going to be going yet, but because she cannot go straight to Baton Rouge. When she gets out of dry dock, the river will not be high enough. But wish list items are going to be done. If you go to the USS Kidd Veterans Museum channel on YouTube, they have put out a video detailing the additional work that is going to be done in this new contract. It's going to be a two-part video, and part one has already been released. I think that was put on their channel, I think last night or night before. So again, USS Kidd Veterans Museum on YouTube, usskid.com. Go check out the latest video and see what's happening with the kid. So I didn't intend to do that next, but since we got there, I'm trying out something a little new. A new little segment here for you guys. This week in history. For those who may not have been noticing, because like you guys with me too, the SS United States has kind of dominated, the news for me this week. But we have to take a couple of looks at some things that happened in history this week. So 80 years ago this year. That's a good question. At what length does a boat become a ship? That's a good question, Mark. To me, I don't know about length, but I've always let's look at ocean liners and World War II vessels, since that's mainly what I focus on. I would consider, of course, ocean liners and destroyers and anything larger than a destroyer to be a ship. Submarines, I think they've called, like, they simply call them like boats for the most part. If I'm wrong on that, someone can correct me, or I'm sure I'll get called out in the comments section on the replay. But that's usually how I approach it. I don't know if there's an exact length where one is classified as a boat or a ship. But this week in history, on August 6th, 1945, 80 years ago, on August 6th, a Boeing B-29 Superfortress called the Enola Gay dropped one bomb over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. This is a replica of that bomb. The bomb was nicknamed Little Boy, and it is the first time in human history that a nuclear weapon was used in warfare. So that was August 6th. 2 days later, on August 8th, the Soviet Union declares war on Japan. Remember, during World War II, the Soviet Union was one of our allies. The big three allied powers: United States, Great Britain, and the Soviet Union. Yep, there you go, Skip. You got it. The Soviet Union declared war on Japan. Tomorrow, August 9th, we're recording this or live streaming this on August 8th, 2025. Tomorrow, on August 9th, another Boeing B-29 Superfortress drops one bomb over Nagasaki. And this is a replica of that bomb. This bomb was nicknamed Fat Man because of its, it's a wide-looking bomb. Crazy as it is, even after this, within 3-4 days, 2 atomic bombs and the Soviet Union declare war on Japan. And it's only until next week on August 15th when the official surrender, VJ as it's called, Victory Over Japan Day, on August 15th, 1945. So when the 15th rolls around next week, think about that. That is a Victory Over Japan Day, August 15th. If you're curious, VE Day, which is Victory in Europe Day, was May 8th, VE Day. So For all intents and purposes, World War II effectively ended this week. And that is This Week in History. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now we're going to get into one of our we have two main topics for this evening, and you guys know what they are, obviously, by the thumbnail. First up, we are going to discuss the Titan sub situation. Let me pull up the thumbnail here, guys. Just bear with me here a second. Let's see if I can get the computer to cooperate. Yes, correct. Skip, on the USS Missouri was the where the official surrender took place. And fun fact, USS Alabama BB-60 is the ship that led the fleet into Tokyo Bay. All right, here we go. Titan sub, let's go full screen here. So the Coast Guard, the reason we're talking about this, the Coast Guard released a 300-something page, I don't know what the correct word is, document, for lack of a better word, I guess concluding their investigation into the tragedy of the Titan sub. Mark says Stockton was totally at fault. Well, that's essentially what the Coast Guard is saying. Let's get into it. The Titan submersible disaster could have been prevented, the U.S. Coast Guard said in a report Tuesday that held OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush responsible for ignoring safety warnings, design flaws, and crucial oversight, which, had he survived, may have resulted in criminal charges. Rush and 4 passengers were killed instantly deep below the North Atlantic in June 2023, when the Titan suffered a catastrophic implosion as it descended to the wreck of the Titanic. A multi-day search for survivors off Canada grabbed international headlines, and the tragedy led to lawsuits and calls for tighter regulation of the burgeoning private deep-sea expedition industry. Coast Guard determined that safety procedures at OceanGate, a private company based in Washington state, were critically flawed and found glaring disparities between safety protocols and actual practices. Jason Neubauer of the Marine Board of Investigation said the findings will help avoid future tragedies. Salvatore I'm going to butcher this. Mercoglanio. Sorry, I know I'm destroying that. I don't mean to. A professor of maritime history at Campbell University in North Carolina said OceanGate was able to exploit gray areas in maritime law that made it unclear who was responsible for enforcing regulations. Now, he said, the Coast Guard and other international maritime agencies will be looking to improve coordination and implement clear mechanisms for enforcement, especially for private submarines. Unfortunately, almost all maritime regulation is written in blood, and something had to happen first, he says. OceanGate suspended operations in July 2023. Spokesman Christian Hammond said the company has been wound down and fully cooperating with the investigation, and he offered condolences to the families of those who died and everyone affected. Investigators pointed to a culture of OceanGate of downplaying, ignoring, and even falsifying key safety information to improve its reputation and evade scrutiny from regulators. The company ignored red flags and had a toxic workplace culture, with firings of senior staff and looming threat of dismissal used to dissuade employees and contractors from expressing safety concerns. Marine Board concluded that Rush had an escalating disregard for established safety protocols, which contributed to the deaths. If Rush were alive, the board would have passed the case to the U.S. Department of Justice, and he may have faced criminal charges. Rush bragged that he could buy a congressman if challenged. The company reclassified submersible passengers as mission specialists, and they have that in quotations, to bypass regulations on small passenger vessels and claimed its subs were oceanic research vessels. Former mission specialists and OceanGate employees said their participation was purely for a ride in the submersible, not for scientific research. Rush and OceanGate received numerous warnings about Titan's fraudulent classifications. In 2017, Rush was told about a Coast Guard reserve officer hired by OceanGate that his planned Titanic dive would be illegal. Rush said he would buy a congressman if he was ever challenged. Over the years, the company resorted to increasingly deceptive strategies. By 2021, an OceanGate attorney falsely told a Virginia federal court, which was presiding over Titan's authorization to conduct dives, that the vessel was registered in the Bahamas. I have heard that too, by the way. To obtain his credentials, Rush submitted a fraudulent sea service letter signed by OceanGate's chief operations officer to the Coast Guard's National Maritime Center, the report said. In it, Rush claimed past service as a crew member on Titan and misrepresented the size of the vessel when it in fact had never been registered or measured. Investigators found that the submersible's design, certification, maintenance, and inspection process were all inadequate. The vessel's carbon fiber hull design and construction introduced flaws that weakened the overall structural integrity of the hull, according to the report. Mounting financial pressures in 2023 led to a decision by OceanGate to store the submersible outdoors in the Canadian weather, and the hull was exposed to temperature fluctuations that compromised the vessel's integrity. And that is pretty much the gist of it. Did Ozzy make it in? I haven't been looking at the chat while I was reading the article. Oh, yeah, Ozzy is here. Long live the potato room. Let's see. I'm going to catch up on comments. I'm sure Rush sugar-coated that to no end to get PH on there. There you have it. It does not surprise me one bit. Of all the dumb, dangerous stuff Josh Gates does, he would not dive in Titan to any great depth. Did anybody? I'm sure some of you guys watched the Netflix documentary that came out. Was it last month? From what I remember about that, they essentially the report here is essentially echoing everything they said in that documentary. This is essentially to me, it's essentially like they're confirming everything that documentary said. At least that's my take on it. And that's how I know Josh was terrified. I want to say I was watching some more stuff about it today while I was preparing for our stream tonight. And I want to say that this guy was a news reporter, was he not? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Oh, Skip. Yeah, there really is no new news. I agree with that. But I think with this being the final report on the whole situation, I think that it was definitely worth mentioning. They're essentially confirming everything that we kind of knew already. Josh, he's got Expedition Unknown and Expedition X and other shows on Discovery. Okay, that's not the person that I am thinking about then. Ozzy, was it safe to dive at 300 and 400 millimeter deep or meters deep? If they never took it, and I'm only speculating here. What I'm about to say, I am speculating. I do not know for certain. I think if they had only ever taken it that far deep, it would have survived a lot longer than it did. Would it have still failed eventually over time? Possibly. I do not know if that is deep enough for an implosion event to occur. Man, I wish I could talk to Parks right now, Parks Stevenson, because he could probably answer that question for us. I don't know if that is deep enough to cause an implosion, but still in all, if you think about it, even if the thing breaks apart in 400 meters, you are still way too deep to swim to the surface and you're going to drown. So even at that shallow of a depth, would I have gotten into that thing? No, no, absolutely not. But that's just me. So um, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna make a note on that. I really, that's a good question. I really want to know the answer to that. Uh, can an implosion happen at 400 meters? Next time I'm able to talk to Park Stevenson, I will present that question to him and see what he has to say. They were around 13 dives to Titanic, but the hull was, yeah, and that's the thing, Skip. Skip's got it right on the money, but the hull was damaged each time. I forget the term what the exact term was, but it's like it's in cycles. Every time it's going down, it's degrading more and more and more, and degrades to the point where you have that catastrophic implosion. And here's the thing, and Anna, I hope you don't get upset with me. I'm a spoil one little thing about the documentary. Please don't get mad at me. There's one point where in the documentary where Stockton is in the sub, and I think he's in the Bahamas or somewhere. I think it was. I don't remember exactly where, but you could hear it. You could hear pops all around the sub, and he's even looking. He's like, "That don't sound good," you know. And you want to go down to the Titanic in the thing. Ah, so anyway, anybody's got any closing thoughts about the Titan sub before we move on to the big topic for the evening? Any closing thoughts or comments? Um, like I said, to me, the Coast Guard report just confirms what I think most of us already knew. See, there was footage of it doing that on Josh's test dive too. Freaking eerie, and no way I would go deeper. And Mark points out that you're bolted in, so there's no way to escape. Absolutely right, Mark. But what I'm wondering, and this is what I'm picturing in my head. Let's say this thing goes down to the Britannic. Britannic's 400 meters down, or no, excuse me, 400 feet. Britannic's 400 feet down. Well, I don't know the difference between feet and meters. But let's just say that. Let's say 400 feet. They go down to Britannic, and the hull is still degraded to where it breaks apart. It's not an implosion, but the thing breaks apart on the ends. You know, that titanium cap just comes off from degradation. You're in 400 feet of water. Even if you don't die instantly like that, you're going to drown. I kind of rather just, go instantly than have to drown. Let's see. SS United States number 2 funnel got removed today. Yes, yes, it did, Ozzy. And I guess now, guys, let's go ahead and get into our main topic for the evening. Here we are, the SS United States. So, yeah, nice segue. Exactly. So Monday morning, I wake up and I'm getting my day started, and I start seeing things about the funnel was going to come off on Monday. And honestly, I tend to take a lot of things. If you need to use the pics, I put, and I screenshotted a whole bunch of. I was watching as I could, and I got a whole bunch of screenshots of both events. But thank you though. So yeah, I wake up Monday. I'm getting my day started, and I'm seeing messages and comments. The funnel's coming off today. Forward funnel is coming off today, and uh, with the SS United States, I'll be honest, guys. I take a lot of information that I see with a grain of salt. Um, but anytime I see something, when I see it with my own eyes, that's when I believe things. So what I did is the same thing I always do when I hear something about the ship. I load up the Admiral Hotel Fox 10 in Mobile, their live stream, because they're pointed right at the ship. And you see that big crane? Never saw that big crane there before. So when I saw that, I loaded up the feed and I saw that. I'm like, oh crap. Today is going to be the day. Here we are. We've got an overhead view. And let's zoom in here. You can see there's the big crane, and they're bringing it down into the ship. I'm guessing they used bracing on the inside of the funnel in order to hook it up to the crane. Funnels will be at the museum in Florida. Yes, they will. Now, let's see. Here we go. They're removing the forward funnel right here. When this moment happened, I was just like, that's when my jaw liked to hit the floor. Next image. Just a little higher. Even more. And actually right here, they waited a minute. I don't know if you guys remember that, but in this section right here, they lifted, you can see they lifted the forward part first, and then it was just kind of sat there for a minute before they moved on. Ozzy, when are they going to remove the propellers? Ozzy, there's only the only propeller that I'm aware of that was still on the ship was on the stern, on the deck of the stern. That's the only propeller that, as far as I know, was still on the ship, and that was removed today. We will get into that. So, yeah, and the prop was removed this morning. I do have images of that as well. And here you can see it, guys. She's lifting off here. And the anchor, yeah, I imagine everything's going to go to Destin for the museum. You can see, as of right now, the radar mast is still on, not for much longer. And there they are. They're moving it over to here. The barge is, you can't see it, but the barge is here on the starboard side of the ship. Anchor is still on board. Okay. Moving more. Swinging it around. Lowering it. Almost there. And there she is. You can still see the top of the funnel right here, the blue and the white part. And that's essentially what she would look like from, well, no, not yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's see. These next few photos are some that I found on Facebook. I don't remember if this was Colleen Marine or the Conservancy, but one of them posted these images. It doesn't really look all that big in this image. I mean, and I know how big they are. I've seen them in person. I saw the ship 4 times while since she's been to Mobile. Anchor still on board. Might be the county. They have all posted them. So yeah, here we go. There's the starboard side bridge wing, and you can see they're getting ready to lower it down. Now, this gives you a better perspective of how big the funnel actually is. I was wondering what this is right here, and I've seen it because I've flown my drone over the ship several times. I always wondered what this is right here. Any of you guys know what that is? Kind of a weird angle. It's almost on the barge right here. It's just about to touch down. And this is a great shot right here. You'd think that barge would have to be bigger than it is in order to support that funnel, but no, I mean, they got it. And of course, this is a unique view because you only ever see this part of the crane from the live stream. But look how big the platform is that holds that crane down. And some of these may not be in the exact order. And here's the inside of the forward funnel. I thought this was a very interesting picture. You can essentially see, the bones of it, the skeleton. Now, here's the thing I've been wondering, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. And here we go. This is the funnel is completely off the ship, but you see the radar mast is still on. What are you going to do now that you've got these giant gaping holes where the funnels used to be and you get a really bad rain of it? Are they just going to let it rain inside the ship and then pump it out later? Or are they just going to put big tarps over where the funnels used to be? Yeah, here we go. Here's looking down inside the funnel, or where the funnel used to be, I should say. Not sure what all this equipment is. These look like some type of steam pipes right here, although I'm not entirely sure. And here we go. Here's the radar mast being removed. How many of you were able to watch all of this live? It'll get a lot wetter inside when they're done. Yeah, I think so, Eric. I would certainly think so. Yeah. Oh, and I knew you watched live. In fact, when I was looking at it this morning, I was watching all the comments and stuff, and then I saw Anna's name pop up. I'm like, here we go. It's about to get interesting. Um, Skip's got a sad face. I'm guessing he didn't get to watch it. Mark watched it. I watched as much as I could. I did not get to watch the removal of the radar mast. And I was nice. And here they are placing it onto the crane. You can see over here in the background is the hospital ship, the Mercy. And there she is. That's how she looked late Monday afternoon, guys. You can see the big crane is positioned over here, but the forward funnel is gone. And the radar mast is gone. Skip, they need to save that for the museum. Save what exactly for the museum, Skip? Which part? It was how I spent my trip to Atlanta and back was watching the live feed. I might. Oh, okay, I know what's going on here. Actually, let me go back because we're getting into the stern photos now. Radar Pro. Oh yes, Skip. That is definitely being preserved. That is going to the museum. There was an interesting photo. Let me see if I can find it. You know, let's see. I might not have put it in here, but Yeah, it's this one. So going back right here, look real good right there. You see that? That's the Perdido Queen right there. Imagine being on the Perdido Queen doing the riverboat tour and you're watching them take the forward funnel off of the SS United States. And I'm not going to lie, when I got on at 11 a.m. Monday, I cried knowing what was coming. And I know you are certainly not the only one. A lot of people are taking it very hard, and understandably so. The and it was going to be so. The last time I saw her was actually, I can tell you guys. This is actually, we're getting into the stern photos. That's where the stern from this morning. I can tell you guys the exact date. The last time I saw her whole. Let's see. Give me 1 second and I'll be able to tell you. July 12th. July 12th was the last time I saw her. And obviously last time I will ever see her, as she was intended to be. I do not know when I'm going to be making another trip to Mobile. I'm sure eventually at some point my curiosity is going to get the best of me and I'm going to have to go and see it. Obviously it's not the same, but I can tell you, I got to see her 4 times when she got to Mobile. Within the first 2 weeks, I got to see her. That was before they even started removing all the windows off the promenade deck. Because if you look real good, it's kind of hard to tell in this fuzzy picture, but this was a enclosed promenade deck right here, and all the windows were still in place when she got to Mobile. I got to see her with all of that still in place. That was one of the first visible changes they made. Let's see. Will you look into seeing her sink? And here we go. The crane. So here's the crane. You can see the wire coming down. This was the first thing they did this morning. They lifted the prop that's on the stern deck off. Will I look into seeing her when they sink her? It's going to depend on there are different variables that are going to play into that, loyalist. Depends on how much people are going to be charging to charter boats to go out there. If they're raking people over the coals and price gouging because they know how bad people want to see this, no, I'm not giving them my money. Another thing will also be time, when they plan on doing it. Like I've seen from the Conservancy, I think it was, or Okaloosa, I forget which one, late 2025. That's what I've seen. So if by late 2025 they're talking between November and December, or between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I don't know. Again, finances tend to get tight around that time of year. There's holidays, there's Christmas shopping, and blah blah blah. So if everything lines up, yes, I will make an attempt to be there. I just don't know yet. I got to see how things are going to play out. If I can afford a charter, I will be going down. Oh yeah, definitely. If it lines up right with time and money, I will do it. Max says the last time I saw her was May 29th. Yeah, that's been a little while. Is there anyone in the chat that has not seen the ship in person? I'm just curious. And here we go, guys. This is early this morning. As I checked the feed this morning, and I noticed the crane was back. Because if you guys remember, after they did the stuff on Monday, the crane went away. I guess they had other work for it, and it went away. I saw it back this morning. That's how I knew something was going to happen. So you can see they're lifting the prop off of the stern right here. And we're eventually just going to get higher and higher. And there it is right here. Yes, air in the prop. It's the last one on the ship, physically on the ship. And here it is right here. You can see, the crane is swinging from right to left. Its home port is Mobile. They put it to bed for the night, I see. Referring to the crane. And there's the prop right here again. And yeah, so the barge is somewhere over here on the the starboard side. And at that point, the prop is on the barge. What's happening here, as you can see, the crane has now moved into position. The cable is coming down for them to prep it to remove the aft funnel. And you can see a person right here waiting for it to come down. Let's see. There it is, now fully in place. And there it is, it's attached. And look at this. Look at the back side. You've got part of the superstructure coming up off of the ship as well. So it's not just the funnel itself. I don't know if this part of the superstructure was attached to the funnel originally. I guess they did it this way to make sure the thing stays, completely flat on the bottom. Ryan Wilsey, welcome. That has to be the lightest full-size ocean liner as of now, since it was stripped from the inside. You could easily be dry docked and prepped for becoming a museum itself. I agree, Ryan, and I'm sure pretty much everyone here would also agree with you. Unfortunately, it's just not in the cards. It's not going to happen. And I know a lot of people are very upset about it. I'm not happy about it either. But I'll be honest with you guys. I have not taken this honestly as hard as I thought I would. I mean, I hate it. Don't get me wrong. I do. I've never been supportive of this, but I guess I just accepted this a long time ago. To me, when Okaloosa legally purchased the ship, and they are the legal owners of the ship, when that happened for me, that killed any chance of the ship ever being preserved above water. I knew it wasn't going to get scrapped, so I was thankful for that. But I've never been of the opinion that some billionaire or a group or the federal government or anyone was going to come in at the last minute and save the show. I've never believed it. I have exclusively just followed the Conservancy and Okaloosa County's social media. And I guess I accepted it. And that's where I'm at with it. And as I've said many times before, just because I accept it doesn't mean I have to like it. This is what it is. And I can just be grateful that I got to see her 4 times before this happened. So, that I got some great footage. I got to do 2 different boat tours and see her up close. And more importantly than all of that, we're still going to have pieces of her. We're still going to have the funnels. We're still going to have the radar mast. We're still going to have some anchors. We're still going to have some props. The king posts are going to be removed as well, which are these 2 structures right here. You see this and this right here. Those are called king posts. Those are going to be removed as well, and I would imagine are going to end up in the museum as well. Billy, what's happening? Yep, just another view of this. And there it is. It's completely off of the ship right here. And there they are. They're moving it. And once again, the barge is down here. And that's where they're going to lower the funnel on. We've got a super chat. Loyalists, thank you very much for the super chat. Coalition was serious. They would have formed in summer of 2024, not right after it was sold past the deadline. Well, and again, like I said, when Okaloosa County purchased the ship, they did so. Everything was legal. I'm sure nothing illegal was done in that purchase. I'm certain you had lawyers on both sides, the Conservancy and Okaloosa County, going through this contract page by page, word by word. Everything was done legitimately. Okaloosa County are the legal owners of the ship, and that's just the way things are, you know. Ryan, her original starboard anchor is in Turkey underwater still to this day somewhere. I did not know that. And I'm seeing conflicting reports on the King posts. I've heard they are being shortened a bit and left on. I hope they just remove them. I mean, it can't be that hard to remove those things. That's probably, of all the structures they're removing off the ship, that would seems like it'd be some of the lightest things. That crane can more than handle those things. I hope they take them off. And let's see, is that the last photo I have? Let's see. No, that's not the last photo. Why is it it's stuck right there? Hang on a second, guys. No, bear with me a second. My slideshow got a little messed up. Bear with me a second. No, come on. I don't want to edit. I just want to open it. There we go. Okay, better. All right, let's try that again. All right, here we go. And you can see they're lowering it down here. Almost down right here. Could be for ecological reasons. I'm waiting. Yeah, but there's no ecological concern if you remove them completely and use it for the museum. Is what I'm saying. Now, if they're leaving them on the ship, I think we might be talking about two different things. So ignore what I just said, Anna. I think we're talking about two different things. And here we are, guys. There it is. SS United States. The funnels are gone. The radar mast is gone. My question that I had for you at the beginning, Anna, was because I stopped watching the feed after the funnel was taken down. Was anything else removed off of the ship after the aft funnel was removed today? That was my question for you. Positive ecological impact, more surface for floaty things and crustaceans and such that may not necessarily stick to the flat surface. Mark has found the answer to his question. Looked it up. A boat becomes a ship at 197 feet. There you go. So they removed two generators. But you have no pics because Fox zoomed so far out I couldn't tell what they were, so I had to ask. Okay, no worries. But yeah, guys, that's what she looks like now. Um, the only other thing I'm really wondering about from here on out is, are they going to remove all the paint from the ship? Because I would imagine that would be like an environmental concern. And how are they going to do that? You can't very well just sandblast all that off and let it fall into the Mobile River because that's an obvious environmental concern. So that would be my question. Oh, Skip, thank you so much, my friend. Thanks for having me aboard. No, thank you for joining us. It is appreciated as always, my friend. 2112. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. And we are happy to have you with us as always. Let's see what's next. Oh, yes, this picture here. So on this one, you can see here is the aft funnel being placed onto the barge right here. Yeah, layers of paint on her. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, you can't just sandblast or scrape all that off and let it go into the river. So I wonder what environmental concerns there are if they sink her like this with all of that paint still on her. I would think that's a concern of some kind. Here we go. Here's the big barge, the crane. Funnel's coming down. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute. So that's the last image I have of stuff being removed from the ship. So might pressure wash here to get loose paint off. But again, you can't just let that paint fall into the Mobile River because then you're creating a potential environmental hazard right here where she's at. So that's what I'm really wondering. Or if they're going to take the paint off, how are they going to do that right here where it's and without it causing any type of environmental issues? But guys, with having said all of that, um, I mentioned it a few minutes ago. We're still going to have parts of the ship preserved. Thank goodness for the museum that's coming down the road. And I know everybody is sad and bummed out about this, but I don't want to end the stream on a negative note. And we're about to wrap it up here. We've got a few minutes left, so I want to conclude here with some positives. So uh, now we need to help the Conservancy with the museum and preserve her stories. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Anna, because this is where I'm going with this. So after the forward funnel was taken off on Monday, the Conservancy put this out. SS United States, the SS United States Conservancy remains deeply committed to celebrating and commemorating the enduring legacy and indomitable spirit of the SS United States. Today, we are thrilled to announce a new partnership with Think Design to initiate the design and development of our future SS United States Museum and Visitor Experience, which will prominently feature the ship's towering funnels. To learn more about this exciting partnership and the funnel's preservation, please read the Conservancy's news release. Go to their Facebook page and read it there. SS United States Museum and Visitor Experience rendering, courtesy of Think LMN Architects Bureau Happold, and they have two artist renditions. This is really beautiful, guys. I dig this design. I really do. The only thing I'm confused about is over here. Is that like a barrier island, or is that a big wave coming in? I mean, Florida's prone to hurricanes. You get a bad enough one, and you know, there should probably be some type of barrier right here. Is all I'm saying. But I mean, what do you guys think about this? I think this is really beautiful, in my opinion. If this is what they do, I can't wait to visit this. I think it looks really, really nice. And we have one more view of it right here, the front view. I don't think a location has been decided yet. Well, no, it hasn't, but this is clearly some type of waterfront location if this is in fact what they're going with. Unless they do it something inland. I don't know. Lois would prefer a superstructure mock. Well, in a way, if you look at it, is kind of the front of a ship. You know, here's our funnels, here's the radar mast, and this is kind of like the bow right here. We need to remember the county's only giving 1 million. That's more than 1 million right there. Absolutely. Oh, I know. We will see what happens with that. I don't know. As long as the parts they're saving from the ship remain preserved, that's my big thing. Right below that funnel looks like a bridge. Yeah, it certainly does. And going back to the previous image here for a second, if this is in fact what they do, look here on this side of the forward funnel, you can actually go up to the top of the funnel and go inside and have a look around. They should have just kept the shell. Mark, I mean, we all want that, but it's just not happening. I mean, I know everybody's got to come to terms with that on their own time, and I understand that and I respect it. I'm to the point where I've accepted it. I know for the billionth time, I don't have to like it, but I've accepted it. But let's hope that something like this, in fact, happens. Anything happens. That's the main thing. I would imagine they're going to have to do a lot of fundraising in order to make this happen. We'll just see. I can't read that, Anna, but it's funny. So do I have any more photos to show you guys? I think that was probably it. Yeah, that was it. So there you have it, guys. That is our live stream for this week. Where she have relief. If you have photos or videos that you took yourself, whether it was in Philadelphia you saw her, or if you saw her in Mobile, hold on to your stuff, guys, because it's history now. Yeah. Ryan, it would be insane if they put the ship on land for tourist attraction instead of it being for fish. But you have a couple of land-based museums, ships. In fact, I'm wearing a shirt, USS Cavalla at the Galveston Naval Park, along with the USS Stewart in the same park, are both on land. USS Drum at Battleship Memorial Park in Mobile are all on land. So there are examples of where that happens. Of course, the SS United States is just way too big for something like that. She would have to stay in water if she were to remain above water. But anyway, that's it for this week, guys. It's been a weird, wild week, and I will definitely attempt to go see her at some point again, because I know my curiosity is going to get the best of me, although I think that it might hit me it might hit me harder if when I actually see it in person like this now than it has just watching it over YouTube. I don't know. But I'm going to leave you guys with I'm going to sign off early, but you guys stick around because I have a little treat for you guys. I am going to sign off with letting you guys watch some of my drone footage of one of the last times I saw the show. So, having said that, let me pull it up here. You guys have a great evening and a great weekend, and we will get through this, guys. Don't worry. We'll be all right. Until the next time, you guys know the drill. Enjoy this footage, and of course, you said it, Skip. Drive safely. And play.